Greetings everybody, my name's Tommy the Game Master and welcome to my channel. Now, I just went and saw Pirates of the Caribbean Dead Men Tell No Tales. Now, as far as my thoughts on the franchise goes, the first movie ranks as one of my favorite action movies of all time. It ranks up there with The Dark Knight and Terminator 2. Everything's perfect, the pacing's perfect, the character's perfect, lot of humor in it, as well as some really serious dark stuff. It knows its tones, and it's very entertaining. The second movie wasn't as good as the first, but it got, for the most part, its base points right. But it left on a cliffhanger, so you would go see the third movie, which turned out to be one of the worst action movies I've ever sat through. It's like 3 hours long, way too complicated. You lose kind of track of the character motivations, so therefore you don't really care when they betray each other. And by the end of the movie, I was just glad to have it done. The fourth Pirates movie came out, and it was just a meh standalone movie, and I do mean that. There's very little, if anything, that really recalls the fifth movie, other than the fact that the Black Pearl is still stuck in that bottle Jack has. Other than that, that movie and the characters that were introduced in that movie and the events that happened in that movie are not even referenced in this. Instead, this movie actually goes back to the end of the third movie just a little bit. Introduces us to Henry Turner, I do believe his name, Will Turner's son, who was out to break the curse that is put on Will that keeps him from coming home and being a family to him and his mother. So he goes out and tries to find Jack Sparrow so they could find a um, Miss Trident, I guess, the Trident of Poseidon, which is supposed to be able to control the sea and break curses. Jack, on the other hand, has really hit a rut without the Black Pearl. His bad luck has caught up to him, and in a drunken stupor, he sells the compass that he has. And I don't really understand this part of it. I get the idea that the compass he has points to where his heart desires, whatever treasure or whatever thing he's thinking of. So to give it up means to basically give up on any desire you have. It basically means you admit failure. I can understand why that has some repercussions. However, to release this cartoonish zombie Spanish villain from his prison so he can hunt Jack down, I don't quite understand why that in particular happens to be the punishment Jack receives, but whatever, it's his punishment. Throw in Hector Barbosa coming back, and this is one of my favorite films to have Barbosa in next to the original. He really does a lot of work here. He's not thrown in like he is in the fourth. He's not, do we like him better than Jack type BS coming in as the second and third. Here he's, both the villain and both the hero. He has his own motivations. We see what they are, and he's overall a good character. As far as Jack Sparrow, who, especially in the fourth movie, his antics can get a little old, here I actually found myself kind of laughing. Johnny Depp puts a lot of work in his performance compared to where he was at 6 years ago, where he was probably thinking this pirate franchise that I'm obligated to do is a pain in the neck. I want to do other work. Now I'm pretty sure he's hanging on to that for dear life because that's all his career is going to be. You better hope it stick around because his movies have been flops as of late. But he does a good job as Jack Sparrow. I found myself laughing at his antics. There's, like I said, the two new characters that involve, like I said, Will Turner's son, and then there's also this one woman who's seeking the trident so she can fulfill her father's wishes, and she comes off as okay. She's no Elizabeth Swann by any means, but I didn't hate the character. Overall, though, I thought it was pretty good. The action scenes are good. The comedy was there. My only complaint, and it does come up in all the Pirate of the Caribbean sequels, and it still rears its head in this one, it has pacing issues, and it has times where the movie just kind of enters this kind of long dole. It hits a doldrums for about 10 or 15 minutes where it's hard to really care about these characters or their motivations. Fortunately, it doesn't stay there. And there is one other bad thing I kind of have to bring up, and that is the timeline for these movies is kind of messed up in this. It's not really given any indication exactly how much time between the fifth movie and the third movie has passed, but we could say at least 20 years because Henry Turner looks like he's in his 20s, late teens at oldest, and so therefore it means 20 years. Meanwhile, this girl he falls in love with, I won't try to give away too much spoilers, but she had to be conceived before Pirates of the Caribbean, The Black Pearl begins, and that's before Elizabeth Swann finds Will Turner washed up on her boat. So that means she's got to be old enough to be Henry's mother, yet they're the same age. That doesn't make sense to me. And one last note too, just because I am a gaming fan, Disney now owns the Monkey Island IP. If you ever watch the second and third movies, the villain Davy Jones definitely looks a lot like LeChuck from the Secret of the Monkey Island games. There's definitely parallels between those two characters. Disney now owns that IP outright, so Henry Turner here does bear a canny resemblance to Guybrush Threepwood. He does act a little clumsy sometimes. He's not the complete idiot that Guybrush Threepwood is, but there weren't times that I was thinking, are they actually paying homage to the Monkey Island series, a series which is probably going to be dead because Disney doesn't want it to be competing with its Pirate of the Caribbean franchise? I don't know, but if Disney does throw in a few homages towards that legendary game series and that, really clever writing that it had that did influence the Pirates of the Caribbean. I'm all for it. Anyways, this is Tommy the Game Master thanking you for listening to this rant. I'll see you guys later.